Welcome back at 8:08 a.m. exactly, South African time, of course. And we, pardon, we are going to be talking with the African Transformation Movement. They have instructed their legal team to urgently approach the Constitutional Court following a ruling by the Western Cape High Court concerning President Cyril Ramaphosa and the Section 89 impeachment process. So we're going to be looking at the trigger, which is actually what I've introduced in the opening remarks. With you, Zama Ntshona, thank you very much for being with us. A very good morning to you. Welcome. And you are going to now respond to this matter regarding Ramaphosa's impeachment battle to the ConCourt.
Good morning to you and the listeners.
Okay, so we do understand that the Western High Court, Cape High Court, of course, recently granted Ramaphosa an interim interdict. And this, of course, means temporarily stopping Parliament from processing with public hearings on his impeachment inquiry relating to the Phala matter. You, of course, are responding by taking legal action. Talk to us about it.
Thank you so much. Well, for the African Transformation Movement, the order by the Western Cape High Court is vague. It's vague in that the president wanted the impeachment process to be halted. The court granted the halting of the public hearings on the matter. Now, this is not what the president asked for. And it gives us a very difficult task in Parliament in trying to understand whether the whole process is halted or the public hearings are halted. The reason it is a constitutional dilemma is that the Constitution makes provision for Parliament to conduct its business publicly. Now, this order is contravention of sections of the Constitution that dictate that Parliament must conduct its business openly, because now it speaks about it's open to interpretation. Already, the ANC released a statement understanding that the proceeding, the impeachment process has been halted. The chairperson of the impeachment committee is saying the work of Parliament will continue. So which one is which? We seek the Constitutional Court to give us guidance on that matter. The other issue is the president, when he was preparing his papers, he said he does not want his dignity to be impugned on or humiliated. Now, previous courts, so this is why he wants that. Now, the issue that they call a balance of convenience. Now, this is where you have an individual in office who, when they took the oath of office, the courts ruled that impeachment is part of the job in order to ensure that there is accountability. Now, if you want to balance now the issue of the dignity of the person and the issue that the person must be accountable, it actually says the dignity of an individual is not more important than the interest of the majority. And there are previous cases where the very Western Cape High Court has said the dignity of a person, in the case of Mkhwebane, in the case of Hlophe, and many others, that the dignity of one person is not more important than the dignity of the majority, and especially the issue of accountability. So this is point number 2 that we are raising, that we believe that the judgment is not consistent. And then number 3, the judgment was not unanimous. There was a dissenting view, and the dissenting view goes in line with the previous judgments on the matter. And those judgments are judgments that say the interest of the 68 million people is more important than the dignity of the person. So of the 6 justices who said, only 2 have a view that the judiciary must meddle with the independence of Parliament because an impeachment process is a parliamentary process. So the ATM is arguing for separation of powers. And we feel that this decision by the two justices of the 6 who have taken decisions on this matter cannot be taken as a superior judgment, and therefore must be subjected to interpretation and alignment by the apex court.
Okay, let's go for an ad break. When we come back, we'll continue this very important discussion. We're also going to be looking at issues around what if Ramaphosa is found guilty under the circumstances. Does that mean that his term ends immediately? What are the repercussions of this action against obviously the impeachment? So all of that and more right after the break.
You know, it's a wonder how kids get anything done these days. With all the distractions, when do they even get time to study? As a mother, all I can really do is make sure they have all they need to perform at their best. That's why I choose to include Sunfoil, triple refined pure sunflower oil with every meal I make. Naturally cholesterol-free and approved by the Heart and Stroke Foundation as part of a balanced eating plan. So whether I'm cooking, frying or baking, I know every dish will be a wholesome one. Sunfoil, now we're cooking.
More than 800 million people around the world live in deep poverty, uncertain of where the next meal will come from. For those on the brink of starvation, a food pack means survival, dignity, and hope. Send food, send kindness. Be the reason a family does not go hungry. Donate now to Islamic Relief.
Discover the Africa of your dreams and surround yourself with her spectacular beauty. Relax beneath her serene sunsets and explore wildlife at its natural best. It's where the pride of Africa comes together. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve. Get to know the Big Five or cruise on an elephant safari game drive. Interact with lion and tiger cubs and enjoy world-class halal cuisine while we pamper you during your 5-star stay. Indulge in the true African experience. For reservations, call now on 042-203-1400 or visit kwantu.co.za. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve, the place of gathering.
Are you banking with convenience, transparency, and flexibility? With Al Baraka Bank's transactional banking account, you can enjoy convenient everyday banking designed around your needs. Benefit from zero fees on point-of-sale transactions and manage your banking easily through Al Baraka's secure mobile banking app and internet banking platform. From everyday payments to managing your personal or business banking, Al Baraka makes banking simple, transparent, and convenient. Visit albaraka.co.za to learn more. Al Baraka, your partner bank. Al Baraka Bank Limited is an authorized financial services and credit provider.
Somewhere in Africa, women wake before dawn, not to pray but to walk, hours across dry land just to bring water home every single day. This August, Africa Muslims Agency invites families to The Source, a charity market where every purchase helps bring clean water to Africa. Join us at The Source on the 1st of August, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., 31 West Street, Houghton. Shop, gather, give.
Rejuvenating media day by day. This is Salam Media.
It is exactly 17 after 8 o'clock. We are talking with the ATM's national spokesperson, and that, of course, is you, Zama Ntshona. We're looking, obviously, at the issue around the interim interdict, which obviously temporarily stops Parliament from proceeding with public hearings on Cyril Ramaphosa's impeachment inquiry, and this relating to the Phala matter. The all-important question then, Zama, is how come it has taken so long for someone and your political party to raise the flag on this matter and to object to the interim interdict? That's the one part of the question. And just the fact that it has taken so long for the Phala matter to be heard and for, I suppose, action to be taken, if any, against Cyril Ramaphosa? And would it also mean that if he's found guilty, that it could impact on his current situation as sitting president of South Africa?
Thank you so much. Well, the judgment was handed down on Thursday last week of the interim order, and then the ATM on Saturday had already filed in the Constitutional Court. So on Friday, we read the judgment and then prepared the papers. And then on Saturday, we then dealt with the matter. On the issue of the matter being matter that has taken so long, you're right. In 2020, this is a matter of 2020. So you would be thinking that in 2026 we would have finalized. We could have, if the public protector adhered to the duration that is required on such a matter. You would remember that the public protector is required to give an interim report within 30 days. It got to close to 1,000. What was it? Over 2 years. Yes, over 2 years. We were waiting for the outcomes of this matter, and there was no response. Same applies with the Reserve Bank. Some applies with SARS. And then in 2022, 2 years later, finally Parliament made an unlawful decision, which was a decision which the Constitutional Court actually changed and ordered that we start. So this has been a game that has been played by the president to try and run away. And he's further doing that as we speak, because with the review, he wants to, that is coming on September, in September, he wants to challenge the outcomes of the 2020, of the Section 89 impeachment committee, the results of that, which we know that what he wants to do, if he loses in the High Court, he wants to take it to the Supreme Court of Appeals. If he loses there, he wants to take it to the Constitutional Court. And just judging by how long it took for this issue from the Constitutional Court to go back to Parliament, by that time it's 2029. So for us as the African Transformation Movement, we moved fast enough. We were the ones who initiated Section 89 impeachment process. We were the ones who initiated the Section 96 public protector investigation. We were the ones who initiated the IPID report, the IPID investigation, which only came out about 2 months ago. We were the ones who went to the Constitutional Court. We are now going to the Constitutional Court. We've been pushing for this thing to move fast, but the president is not interested in clearing his name because he does not want to speak, which makes us wonder, is he running away because he knows that he's guilty? Because the independent committee did not say that he was guilty. He merely said, "You have reason to answer, come and answer." We've been waiting 6 years down the line. He has not been forthcoming to make himself available to answer those questions. Should we get to a point where the matter is finalized, the president must be impeached.
What would that mean if the president gets impeached? Does it mean stepping aside or stepping down with immediate effect?
Yes, should he be found guilty, he would have to step down with immediate effect. And I don't know how that wouldn't happen. This is why he's fighting so hard so that we never get there. Because he knows. Now remember that this president is the broker of the Constitution, of the democracy, and the writer of this Constitution, an architect of the new dispensation, one of that is. So he knows us very well. This is why he wanted to resign, and his faction in the ANC prohibited him from doing so because he knows very well. Now this is the same guy who back in when he became the deputy president of the country, of the ANC at the time, he wrote that he would establish a blind trust so that it does not contravene Section 96 of Section 2A on other paid work. He knows very well. So the only conclusion you can come to with his running around from the fact, you see this, that he understood this from the word go. He knew that 580,000 undeclared US dollars is a problem, as it has been a problem for Mohammed Amen, who's convicted. It has been a problem for Ms. Potgieter, who's convicted. As it has been a problem with that student who was caught at the OR Tambo in 2018 going to Hong Kong with undeclared 630,000 US dollars. He knew very well that was the problem. His actions after that, those actions were a cover-up because he knew that he had broken the law. So he would have to step down with immediate effect. But post that, the country would have to look at, because that his cabinet also steps down with him stepping down, and there will be the reconfiguring of government just in Parliament. We don't have to go to a vote. We just have to go back in Parliament. The 400 members would have to reconvene a new government with new ministers. So that is what would have to take place.
Okay, so he obviously, to his credit, to Cyril Ramaphosa's credit, he did want to step down, did he not? But it's his party that closed ranks with him and prevented him from stepping down. And obviously, there were other interests as well. His party's, I suppose, interest at hand here, and they didn't want probably for the cabinet to step down as well. There were interests at play here, and the ANC wanted to prevent that. So really, when you look at it, you need to give Cyril Ramaphosa credit for the fact that he was prepared to step down because he realized he was in breach of a contravention, a very serious contravention. So what are your thoughts as the ATM on this matter and the final outcome? What needs to happen going forward? Do you believe that the party and cabinet will continue, and Parliament would continue protecting him?
We can't pretend for an individual who refuses to come and answer. If he was serious about that, at least the violations that he had committed, he wouldn't be running around from one court to the other, preventing us from that very information. So we can't clap hands for him. He remains an individual, though part of a collective. If his reasoning and if his integrity said something to him, he wouldn't spend 6 years with a cloud over his head. So he has failed us dismally as a president in upholding the Constitution and being an exemplary leader. The ANC was not going to chain him down. He had the prerogative of taking a decision to say, look, I've had here, I'm going away. It does not matter what you say, you deal with the matter of how you move forward. But I am not an honorable man. So we can't clap hands for an individual who, even though he knows that he's dishonest, but continues to occupy a position. And listen to everything he has said after that light bulb moment. It is not consistent with an individual who wanted to resign. Everything else that he has said, it does not speak to an individual who realized. Right now, he would say, in Section 96, subsection 2A, well, I've subjected myself, I declared, I did all of those things that he's saying, but you can clearly see that he has no interest whatsoever to actually maintain the posture of an individual who must resign. Moving forward, the Constitutional Court must give us clarity on this matter. Suspend that interim order. After suspending that interim order, Parliament must continue with the work. Mr. Ramaphosa must be called in Parliament, and all South Africans must be able to watch that interview. He must tell us exactly what he did and what he did not do. And by the end of that, South Africans and Parliament must make a determination. Are these serious violations? If they are serious violations, the man must vacate office.
Zama, let's wrap up by the all-important questions. Are you confident? Are you confident that you will be getting the ATM will hopefully get the outcome they would like to see as far as this matter is concerned? Or do you believe that perhaps even Parliament might be captured?
The beauty of the post-2024 phenomenon presents us with a golden opportunity as South Africans. For once, the ANC in the National Assembly does not have the majority. For once, Parliament can be decided upon by parliamentarians who don't have to endure the marching orders from Luthuli House. And that is a gift to us, which is something that we do not have. Now, it's going to be interesting to see who is going to align with the 40%. Who is going to align with the? Who is going to say it is not wrong for the president to have undeclared dollars? Who wants to do that? Who wants to throw away their advocacy program to protect one man who has 1 foot in the grave? He is now going. He's not going to be the president, not even of the ANC. So now, why would you destroy a vehicle of liberation and advocacy in support of that? So right now we have a golden opportunity. This is why the African Transformation Movement, even when the ANC had the majority, a two-member party raised an important issue, and 148 people voted. Only those, including 5 members of the ANC, they said this matter must be ventilated. When the ANC does not have the majority, possibilities are very high, including members of the ANC. They now see that we are not on a wild ghost chase, but we are actually articulating a matter of principle. And we believe that at the end of this, the African Transformation Movement initiated impeachment will be victorious and the president will be removed.
Okay, all eyes on that matter going forward. Thank you. That's where we leave it. ATM National Spokesperson Zama Ntshona talking about the impeachment against Cyril Ramaphosa. Just gone 8:30 a.m. News and views on Salam Media on this Monday morning.